Greetings, Guardians, my name is Bife here. So I guess my Christmas Day predictions were completely correct after all. For those of you who don't know, on Christmas Day I published a video that predicted a lot of what we'd see in this week's story. We're going to go over that shortly, and we're also going to go ahead and talk about the rest of what happened in Destiny this week. First, a little reminder of something said by Rasputin last week, which is incredibly relevant right now.
With each cache of submine data, an increased percentage of my code is restored. I become more myself. No, that is inaccurate. My submines were left to evolve on their own trajectories. Reintegrating them has altered my own personality matrix. Through them, I see how humanity once looked to me as a savior, an entity capable of protecting them and destroying their enemies. In many ways, I am a war god of their own making. Perhaps I am not unlike Xivu Arath in that regard. The difference between us is that I do not wage war for its own sake. I safeguard those in my charge. Continue retrieving and reintegrating the submine data. I will contact you once the next phase of restoration can begin. If I am to be humanity's war god, then I will smite those who threaten it. Xivu Arath, the Wrathborn, and all who follow.
Rasputin was so very ready to fall straight into a certain someone's trap. It's fair to say that with the Warsats back under its command, Rasputin could easily have defeated the forces of Xivu Arath. But weeks ago, I predicted that such a victory would in fact bring about the beginning of Xivu Arath's invasion plan. The exact notion that I talked about in my video from Christmas Day is what Mara and Osiris discussed this week at the helm almost to a T. Take a listen.
We have no time for pleasantries, Osiris. I bring grim tidings. My Techians have been trying to make sense of Xivu Arath's tactics. Her armies are legion, yet she commits minimal forces to battle.
Minimal forces? Every Wrathborn we cut down is replaced by 2 more.
She could replace them tenfold, so why does she show restraint? Her worm feeds on warfare. The more violent the act, the greater the power she draws from it.
Much like Savathun's worm fed on guile and deceit. Do you mean to say that...
This is not a war. It is a ritual. Her death singers weave their magic and prepare for a grand sacrifice.
If so, our strategy remains unchanged. Retake the Warsats and eradicate the Wrathborn.
Just as Xivu Arath desires. The Warsats are immensely powerful. Their use would result in unparalleled destruction. She cares not which side is obliterated. Her worm will gorge itself on the carnage either way.
She would turn her armies into blood sacrifices. And the Warsats would be the blade.
Overwhelming force has proven to be the only effective tactic against the Hive. Without it, I do not know what to do.
Then I suggest you think of something, and quickly.
I will apprise your vanguard of these findings.
For context, this exact move that Xivu Arath has been preparing for, Erismorn and Eido, yeah, they managed to predict it way back when. During the deciphering of such a move, you can actually read the Infiltrator shell and see that they were able to predict it purely because, yeah, war to Xivu Arath is a ritual. More importantly than that, there are actual field reports from Techians and Corsairs within the Awoken forces that confirm that troop movements within the Ascendant Plane have been coalescing above Sorrow's Harbor. Should the Hive succeed in sacrificing the Wrathborn, then the ritual of war will have been completed, and we will see the terrible power of Xivu Arath unleashed above Earth. She will arrive with her Ascendant Plane's bladed terrace, making landfall above the home that was built once more by Hush Ladun. She will occupy the inner workings of Crota's old war machine, and she will drive its furnaces back into action. Death will rain down from Luna, the war moon in waiting, and there will be nothing that we can do to prevail against such an overwhelming assault. The retrieval of the Warsats is imperative now, but their use would be disastrous, and so a new plan has to be devised. Take a listen to the conversation that followed up immediately after this, and you'll get a little bit of an idea of what that plan was.
The Warsats are a means to an end. Xivu Arath will bask in the destruction they bring, and open the Ascendant Plane above Earth, as she did on Tora Bottle. It does not matter who pulls the trigger. We must cease our efforts to restore the War Mind.
No. We've worked too long and too hard to stop now. Rasputin is our best shot at winning this war.
That is precisely my concern. He is a weapon made to be wielded.
He is more than a weapon. He's our ally. And he will act in humanity's best interest.
Are you certain? He has kept secrets in the past, acted without counsel or consensus.
So have you. Rasputin's made mistakes, but he's learned from them. The same as the rest of us.
Then I propose we aim not for total victory, but a stalemate. Allow Rasputin to prevent Xivu Arath from claiming her prize, and refrain from using it himself.
It's settled then. We hold the line.
So our plan is now set. There seems to be only one thing left to do. We need to finish rebuilding the War Mind, and we need to push for the stalemate that Mara and Anna have deemed to be necessary. But all the while, there is a far greater problem that is on display. A problem with an imminent gravity to it. Xivu Arath is a strategist, not a brute. Her grasp of tactics and planning will be mostly unparalleled throughout the universe, and if she is planning her invasion for a time soon to elapse, then it means that she is moving in accordance with the plans of the Witness. Xivu Arath will not invade unless it is time for the whole of the Witness's forces to begin their final conquest of Sol. If Xivu Arath is preparing to invade, we should also be ready to see the forces of Callus, the Scion rebel Yriks, the Elixni Kell of the House of Salvation Eramis, and what forces of the Scorn and Taken remain to move into action as well. Sides have been taken. The war is about to begin, and it is coming to Earth. Lightfall approaches. I'm not sure what more we can really do, but if we're going to save humanity once more, we may have our work cut out for us. We are running out of time. There's one final little bit that I want to go ahead and talk about here, which is simply this. The radio conversation between Osiris and Mara.
Ikora was so bright, so full of promise. How she glowed. Like the light filled her. But it was her eyes that convinced me to take her as my apprentice.
What did you see in them?
Hunger. She was desperate to prove herself back then. I knew the feeling well.
And you know it again now.
When Ikora looks in my eyes, what do you think she sees?
Everything that she always has.
She pities me, Mara.
As you and I have pitied others. Those who hang on our every word. Your cultists, my people. Do not mistake Ikora's pity for disdain. If she pities you, it is out of love.
I have no love for the cult of Osiris.
No. Ask me what I see when I look into your eyes, Osiris.
I will not, but you'll tell me just the same.
I see a man who is afraid he'll never be able to live up to the expectations that other people have placed on him. A man so afraid to hurt or be hurt that he's spent his very long, very accomplished life holding those same people at arm's length. This burden, this inheritance of guilt, it is Ikora's too.
I never wanted this for her.
As your mentors never wanted it for you.
It's a total side note, but I do believe that there is a place in the future for a discussion about the trust between the apprentice and her old master, between Ikora and Osiris. I think that that trust will slowly be rebuilt, and I feel like that's going to be one of the major plot points that we see for Osiris in future story moments. What that may come to in this season, I'm not sure, but it's very clear that it's been teed up, especially considering that it was included as one of the main story beats when you play through the Spire of the Watcher dungeon. So, here we are, waiting in this moment before all of the calamitous things that are inevitably going to happen do actually happen. So, what are your thoughts? Personally, I'm waiting to see what Xivu does, but also if she has anticipated our anticipation of her plan. Does she have a counter plan in case her trap fails? Is it possible that she's predicted our moves, even down to deciphering her original plan? If so, would she have something she can do to counter? Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. I am intrigued to know, because at this moment in time, we've started playing chess in 3 dimensions, and Xivu could very much elevate it to 4 if she is willing to. It may be the case that she's just looking for a simpler plan. It may be the case that she's even stalling for time. We have to think about this in bigger definitions than simply the forces arrayed before us. Now, whenever one piece moves, the entire board is affected. Something that we do inevitably affects all of our coalition allies, and something that Xivu does will inevitably affect the whole of the Witness's war plans as well. Take a look at the whole board and tell me what you think. Also, if you want more lore content, go ahead and hit subscribe and the bell next to subscribe to turn on those email notifications. But as per usual, know that your viewership is quite enough for me, and that in the meantime, my name is Byf. Perodacia ad Astra. I'll see you, Starside.